Considered the only genuinely Brazilian sport, futsal distinguishes itself through its potential as a leisure activity, its formative nature in physical education classes, and as a fulfilling sport as well. It is worthwhile to highlight futsal's socio-cultural importance, taking into account the game's national and international exposure, Brazil's innumerable titles won in international competition, and democratization of the sport, seen through the multiracial makeup of its players, unlike most other sports. Professor Pablo Ramon, author of this video, will tell us a bit about his objectives.
In this instructional video course, our goal is to provide relevant information and practical suggestions for set plays that can be developed for a variety of situations.
Volume 1, Theory. Volume 2, Goal Throw and Kickoffs. Volume 3, Sideline and Corner Kicks. Volume 4, Free Kicks. In this first volume, we touch on the theoretical concepts of the game of futsal, such as tactics, set plays, and the methods for coaching set plays. These concepts will be presented in a way that will describe the basics necessary to understand the practical suggestions that will be presented in the subsequent instructional videos. In the second volume, we will present examples of set plays for both the goalkeeper throw and the kickoff. Goal throws. Starting from an opponent's shot that went high or wide over the goal line, it is a very important situation in futsal due to its frequent occurrence and taking into account the opposing team's coverage. It can be of great risk to the team that has to put the ball back into play if this is done in a careless manner without previous preparation. Kickoff situations, at the beginning of the first or second half of the game, or after a goal has been scored, can be transformed into a possible element of surprise for the opponent through an offensively planned play on the opposing goal. In the third volume, we will present practical situations for sideline and corner kicks. Sideline kicks are made in order to put the ball back into play after it has gone out over the sideline. They can be categorized as defensive or offensive. Defensive when they are made in the defensive half-court of the team making the play, and offensive when they are in the attacking half-court of the team making the play. Corner kicks occur when the defender is the last one to touch the ball before it goes over the goal line. Due to the short distance to the opposing goal area and frequent occurrence during a futsal match, they present situations of great importance for scoring goals. In Volume 4, we will present practical suggestions for free kicks. These situations are often considered the best way to successfully score a goal, taking into account that the team making the play has, depending on the placement of the free kick, a numeric advantage over the defense. The dynamics of the game of futsal are very complex, justifiable by the random unpredictability, variety of skills, and plays of attackers and defenders linked to the inherent characteristics of the sport itself. The action of the game of futsal takes place on a relatively small court, with all the players being involved on both offense and defense. Demand in relation to perception. In futsal, there is a great demand put on perception, taking into account the moving elements, which are 5 opponents, 4 teammates, 2 referees, the ball, and also fixed objects, such as the goal area of the opponent, one's own goal area, the substitution area, the sidelines and goal lines, the opposing goal, and one's own goal. The relationship between the size of the court and the number of players represents an element of difficulty for the players, demanding an optical vision of the feet and the ball, taking into consideration that the feet are involved in movement with and without the ball, and particularly the player's balance, especially since the movements take place predominantly at ground level. This makes it even harder to see and perceive the various elements and situations of the game. the speed of play and the intensity of the game. They can be kept at a high level throughout the entire game. Since the rules permit an unlimited amount of substitutions and require that the players make decisions quickly and correctly in order to play successfully. In this way, the demands imposed by the characteristics of the game of futsal are such that the players must constantly have a conscious tactical awareness to be able to overcome the unpredictable natural structure in which the situations of the game occur, and be able to coordinate play between the attackers and defenders in relation to the game's plan. Tactics in futsal. Tactics in futsal are a means to resolve problems that the players face constantly in the game, therefore allowing the players to take advantage, in the most efficient manner, of all the available means and within the specific rules of the game to make their plays possible and limit the plays of their opponent. Tactics in futsal can be classified as the role of the player, the characteristics of play, the circumstances from which plays are established. The role of the player is defined by the moves that take place in both attack and/or defense, determined by having or not having possession of the ball. In other words, offensive tactics, defensive tactics. The characteristics of play references the number of players involved in situations, which could be individual tactics, group tactics, or collective tactics. Individual tactics occur when a player, by applying a certain technique for a specific situation, uses individual skills to try to attain a specific objective. This is exemplified by the player's ability to know when to take a shot, dribble the ball, or make a pass to resolve a problem. Group tactics are plays organized between 2 or 3 players through the implementation of a series of individual tactics while aiming for a common goal. This can be achieved by making a 1-2 pass, a cross, a block, or a screen, always with the objective of creating opportunities to score goals. Collective tactics could be through simultaneous movements involving 3 or more players to create one effective team move resulting in a shot on goal. They would be through so-called infiltrations on the opposite side of the pivot, the center player, where all the players involved make simultaneous movements, trying to create a play that enables one player to receive the ball deep, in space, to shoot and score. The final aspect to be considered in regard to tactics would be the circumstances from which plays are established. Tactics from open play, tactics for set play situations. Tactics from open play are related to tactical moves starting with the ball in play, represented in a futsal match by plays organized through numeric parity and by counterattacks. In these situations, the opposing players rarely react as one would hope, unlike a set play where the defensive movement is more predictable. From open play, certain situations are unmistakable, called pattern plays or switching plays, or attacking concepts. Put into practice through the development of reading the game and making tactical decisions. Tactics for set plays in futsal refer to situations where the ball must be put back into play after a stoppage. In a futsal match, this could be by goalkeeper throws, kickoffs, corner and sideline kicks, and free kicks. Thus, in dead ball situations, we see the application of so-called set plays. The efficiency of set plays in futsal is a result of the small number of players compared to soccer. Consequently, there is a larger success rate in determining the opposing team's tactics and positioning. Furthermore, the smaller dimensions of the futsal court, with easy access to the scoring zones, make for frequent specific set plays during a futsal match. They are an efficient means of finding a quick solution to create a shot on goal. Therefore, set plays in futsal take on a great importance, often considered as the decisive factor between the play of two teams. For set plays to be successful, their preparation, development, and practice by both the individuals and the group of players involved must be organized in a structured way. One must consider the limits that the rules of the game permit, the qualities and uniqueness of the players and the team as a whole, while taking into account the weaknesses of the opposing team. It is therefore important to highlight the value of practicing set plays, to understand and make decisions for each situation that arises, and to choose the best option. The coach must allow the players a certain level of flexibility in their final decision or the option of alternatives from a variety of plays. For this reason, correct execution of a set play is dependent on theoretical and practical knowledge of individual tactics like passing, shooting, or dribbling, and group tactics such as 1-2 passes, blocks, and crosses, acquired through a methodical process by instruction, learning that within a primary phase, the ability for individual tactics should be developed. In the second phase, group tactics will be developed so that the set play, executed through collective moves of the players, may present greater possibilities of success. Building and development of set plays. As it was stated earlier, the building and development of set plays consists of devising plays for specific situations and then practicing and perfecting both the individual and group roles, which will allow for the highest rate of success. The simpler the plays, the more efficient they will be, whether for sideline kicks, corner and goal plays, kickoffs, and free kicks. In order to build and develop set plays, it is important to focus on the following elements: feasibility, the element of surprise, simplicity, and flexibility. Feasibility focuses on whether or not a specific set play will work in the given situation. The feasibility of a certain set play depends on the following elements: the technical tactical ability of the team itself. The technical tactical ability of the players is fundamental in defining the way in which the set play will be built and developed. High-level players will have greater ease in understanding and executing more complex plays compared to younger players. This means that one must search to create plays that are adapted to the abilities of the players at hand. The technical tactical ability of the opposing team. The knowledge of the individual and collective abilities of the opponent allow one to create plays that have a greater chance of success in the game. For example, to know if the opposing team uses an individual or zone defense for corner kicks, if they defend half-court or total pressure for a goalkeeper throw. These are important elements for the creating of movements and development of set plays. The dimensions of the playing area. Depending on the size of the court, certain set plays may not be as suitable. For example, in larger courts, it is possible to set up plays with passes to find open space, whereas in smaller courts, it might be more advisable to use set movements where the goalkeeper makes the shot on goal. The element of surprise is the ability to guide the opponent into a situation in which he does not have sufficient time to react properly. Simplicity. Simplicity refers to approaching an action in a simplistic and efficient manner, with a smaller margin of error in execution. Flexibility. The existence of a variation or alternate decision, taking into account the different reactions of attackers and defenders in relation to the starting position. Set play training. In the training and preparation of set plays, it is very important to organize and know your material thoroughly in order to make it easy for the players to understand and execute the movements. Based on our experience, the next progression can be adapted to each situation. A theoretical explanation of the play describes all the relevant aspects of the set play for the complete assimilation by the players, the movements, objectives, advantages, disadvantages, and precautions. This theoretical explanation can be demonstrated through media such as video, computer animation programs, magnetic boards, chalkboards, or flip charts, so that the players reach a level of practical understanding. Basic positioning on the court is demonstrated, for example, with the use of markers, discs, or cones. Execute basic movements without coverage. Basic movements with light coverage. Pre-established light coverage. Present a variety of options for the play. Stemming from the various options presented, the coach signals the play to the team in possession without the knowledge of the defenders. Another possibility is call the attacking team aside and show a variation or a new play, so that they execute the play without the defending team's knowledge. And then the way to establish the efficiency level of the play, close to a situation similar to a real match, would be to allow for full coverage by the defense. Lastly, within the group, use all set plays to focus on the play that was presented in that game situation. For example, if within today's session, 2 corner kick plays were practiced, all set play situations, even if they are goal throws, kickoffs, or sideline kicks, will be transformed into corner kicks, with the goal of perfecting the play that was practiced in that specific session. Important considerations. Just as the name states, a set play must be prepared and practiced innumerable times before it can be put into use. All team members, starters and bench players alike, must know all of the plays. However, each player must have a specific role, according to his technical, tactical, and psychological abilities. It is very important for the players to learn how to read the different game situations, so that they may understand and select the appropriate play for any given situation. During the training sessions, it is important to expand the number of plays or variations within the same play. Furthermore, it is recommended to alternate signs or the name of the plays to hide them from the opposing team. The players must have a clear understanding of the plays that are most used during the matches. Applying or executing set plays. In the game plan, pre-select the plays that will be used during a specific match for the different set play situations. Select a specific player to be in charge of signaling which play is to be executed, leaving it to him to orient the players within the court. This player will do so with a signal, gesture, or by saying the name or number of the play. The coach's play selection, taking into account his observations during the game, can be communicated either by a signal or vocally to indicate the play that he has chosen. A timeout can be called by the coach to set up or define the play. The players set up amongst themselves within the court as long as the time stoppage permits. The players must get set for the play to be executed. Another option, taking into account the unlimited substitutions allowed and the time stoppage of the game, is to substitute the players on the court for those that are better suited for the set play. Generally, this will happen in free kick situations. For a perfect understanding, the set plays will be presented with computer graphics. following is a real-life situation using two different camera angles of the same play. In this way, we end the theoretical part of this instructional video course, and we move towards the next volumes, which contain practical examples of set plays to provide support to coaches and players. These examples can be followed, improved upon, or simply adapted to the necessities of your team. The majority of the set plays in volumes 2, 3, and 4 are the result of a 5-year project by Professor Pablo Ramon with the Under-19 team of the Magnum School of Belo Horizonte, city and state champions of 2001, as well as many other state and national championships. Also with the Maneira Under-19 team of 2000 and Under-16 team of 2001, both Brazilian national champions in their respective years. We hope that the plays within the subsequent volumes may in some way be of help for all that use them, and that every coach, within his needs, may, with the guidance of these practical suggestions, use this course as a reference guide that can be adapted to your group of players.